Good morning, everybody. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in and watching this today. I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to be talking to you. I have my good buddy Matt, who's managing the chat room. What's up, Matt?
Hey.
Nice. I like you're actually speaking now. We need to get your microphone over there so people can hear you speak, so that we can have like an actual conversation while we're doing these things. I think that's like an important part of the seminars. So today, what are we going to talk about? Today, we're going to talk about seductive conversation. And specifically what we mean by this is how to speak in a way that generates seduction and makes you sound seductive. Now, before we get into this, I want to know how many people are watching. So, Matt, how many people do we have watching today right now at the moment?
It's not right. It has the wrong number up there. There's more people in the chat room than there is showing.
What's it showing? How many?
It's saying 2.
It's saying there's 2?
Yeah,
There's only 2 people watching right now, which is good to know. But there's more people in the chat room. How many people do we have in the chat room?
At least 7.
At least 7. All right, that's amazing. Okay, so it's a small number today, and that's totally fine. A small number is good because it means that we can work together and really get some answers in. So for those of you guys that are here, the small few of you that have turned up nice and early at the beginning of this, do me a favor. Let's get some names. Let's get you talking to Matt. Let's get you talking to us. This is your opportunity because it's probably because we're doing today on a Monday, and I suspect that people are at work, which means most people are probably going to watch this on the replay, which is totally fine. But for those of you guys that are here watching it live, this is your opportunity to like really ask some questions and really get down to it. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Do me a favor, click refresh. Let's just see if it changes how many people are watching.
34 right now.
It's 34. Okay, so this is rising rapidly. And this is typically what happens. At the beginning, it ends up not very many people, and then as it goes, we get more and more people. So we just jumped from 7 to 34.
44 now.
44. Okay, so this is rising rapidly. So I hope everyone got their questions in nice and early, because at this point, there's probably too many people. But I'm curious. Is there a sticking point, a particular sticking point that you are having about your ability to be seductive in conversation? A specific sticking point? If there is, do me a favor, let's get that written up right now. So if there is a particular sticking point that you're having, write it down, and I'm going to see what I can do about incorporating that into this seminar to make sure that I'm giving you the very best answer in order to make that happen. Today's going to be very simple. We're going to talk about seductive conversation. We're going to start with what it is. We're going to move on. We're going to talk about vocal tone and how vocal tone plays into it. We'll talk about different types of vocal tone. After that, we're going to talk about some key things that affect your seductive conversations. We're going to talk about topics. And then finally, I'm going to talk about a way to make women want you. Because, of course, being seductive is that much easier if you know the woman already wants you and you can make her want you. There's actually a very special technique you can use in order to do that. And, you know, as always, I'm going to give you a link at the end that you can click on to go and learn that technique. And, you know, I think it's important that everybody, once you watch a seminar, you do take an action step and you do something to move you further forward in the goal that you're doing. And so today's action step is going to be very simple. It's just going to be to click on a link and learn even more content. So it's a very simple, easy seminar today. I'm excited to be doing it with you guys. Let's see. Are we getting people saying things they really want to learn in this today?
Yeah, so I have one guy saying, how can I get a college girl to come back to my dorm with me not using Netflix and chill?
How can I get a girl to come back to my college dorm without using Netflix and chill? A, I'm curious why you don't want to use Netflix and chill, by the way. That's like something that I would definitely be interested in. But B, okay, how can I get someone to come back to my place? Now, I do need to say, that's not actually seductive conversation. Getting someone back to your place is the logistics of the lay, which is something that we typically cover in the Interpersonal Attraction Institute, which is our private school where we go through and teach people specifically how to do techniques. I don't think we've done a subject on that in a seminar. It could be a future seminar, though, if that's something you guys are interested in. But we really do that in depth, creating personal plans for people in the Interpersonal Attraction Institute. So if you're not a member of that yet, that's probably where you want to be to learn that. Anything on seductive conversation specifically?
Yeah, there's one guy that wants to learn how to transition a regular conversation into a sexual one.
That's a good one. How do we transition a regular conversation into a sexual? I'm going to write that down here. Transition to seductive. I got that right there. It's written for me, not for you guys. But that's good to know. Anything else that we want to make sure we cover? Any other topics that you guys have that you want to make sure I cover in seductive conversation? Because I'm doing this for you guys. Literally, it's my Monday. It's my phone call day, but I've taken the morning off to help you guys. So let's see what we've got, Matt. What else we got?
We have some guy that wants to know, how does he make a girl, say his girlfriend, more aroused and wanting sex?
How do you get a girl to be more aroused and want more sex? I don't need to write that down because this seminar is that. You're going to learn how to turn a girl on, how to get her hot, how to get her heavy. And by heavy, I mean heavily filled with fluids, desperate, for your man meet. Yes, I said man meet in a seminar. I don't even care because it's a Monday morning. And so it's totally okay to talk about that. Let's just go dirty. Let's just do it. I hope none of you are at work. If you are watching this at work, remember this is not safe for work. Cool. Anything else, Matt? Do we have any?
Yeah, someone wants to know, how do I show or tell a girl that she's attractive?
How do I show or tell a girl that she's attractive? That's a tough one, man. There are some people that just do think it and some people don't. Seductive conversation is not about that. Seducing a girl is not about convincing her she's beautiful. That's a whole other subject to do with her self-esteem. Nothing to do with this. So once again, not a subject that we're going to be covering just because it doesn't apply to this whatsoever. To seduce a woman, she doesn't need to believe she's attractive. She just needs to want to jump on your dick. Like, truly. Like, you know, like, that's the goal. Like, when people do, they get caught up, you know? They're like, how do I get a girl to want to come with me to a theme park so I can have sex with her? This is a real question that somebody asked me. And I was like, how about you just have sex with her? Don't worry about the theme park bit. That makes it complicated. So, you know, so I'm telling you this, I'm teaching you this because I want you to learn it. Cool. All right, Matt. What? Anything else?
Yeah, someone wants to know, what is your best sexual line?
What is my best sexual line? I like that. That's how we're going to start. We're going to start with this. What is my best sexual line? I actually wrote this down recently. I'm working on a whole program, a new program launch that I'm working on right now. And I had to write down my best sexual line. So it's like very fresh in my head. I'll tell you my very best sexual line. My very best sexual line probably goes something along the lines of, I don't understand why women put up with bad sex. And the girl's like, what do you mean? I'm like, look, be honest. Have you had bad sex? Like, tell me, be honest with me. Have you ever had bad sex? And she's like, yeah. I'm like, why did you put up with that? Why did you do it? I don't get it. Like, I've given up bad sex. I know why guys like bad sex. Like, guys will just take sex. They just don't care. The way they look at it, they're like, I had to jerk off or I have bad sex. And they're like, their hand's like, so having sex is better than that because at least it's wet and warm, you know? So I get why guys do it. I don't get why girls do it. Why do girls put up with bad sex? And then they'll tell me what their reasons are or whatever it is. Remember, they're not describing sex or why they want sex. This is very important stuff. At which point I say, yeah, I mean, look, I don't know about other guys. I'm sure other guys will just be happy to get sex whenever they can get it. Not me. I've given up bad sex completely. And I'm going around everyone I meet and I'm telling them, I'm giving up bad sex. 2016, that's it. No more bad sex. In fact, I've given up bad sex years ago, but, you know, I'm committing once again. It's another year. It's like Alcoholics Anonymous. It's another year of no more bad sex. I'm just not doing it ever again. If the sex isn't good, I'm just not going to have sex with somebody. And they go, well, how do you know it's going to be good if you've never had sex with a person? I was like, well, I ask them. I get them to tell me what their idea of sex is. And if their idea of sex doesn't sound good, then, like, for example, I got my buddy Dan, he thinks that good sex is like, you know, wee. I was like, that's not good sex to me. You know, when he sums it up, he goes, yeah, man, just grab the girl and go, wee. I was like, that's not good sex, Dan. You don't know what good sex is. Good sex doesn't work like that. So I get the girl, I'm like, describe it to me. Tell me what good sex is. And then she'll describe it. And I'm like, oh, I don't really know. I'm like you, for example. What do you think good sex is? Let me know. Tell me. Tell me right now. And then she'll start describing it. So she's now telling me what she thinks is good sex. So she's telling me the kind of sex she likes, how she likes it, what she likes. More importantly, she's thinking about sex, which is getting her turned on. This is my best sex line. Once she's described to me exactly what she wants, I know that when I fuck her, what I have to do in order to make her think that that was the best sex of her life. So she just gave it to me while putting her mind in the right zone. At this point, I then get to say to her, see, okay, I like that. Because let me tell you what I think good sex is. And then I paraphrase exactly what she said back at her. So I don't even have to think about what I'm going to say. I'm just going to duplicate what she said and just word it in a different way. So if she's like, I love it when a guy lays me down and he slowly teases me while kissing my neck, my version will be like, yeah, I mean, honestly, like I'm quite dominant in bed. So I like getting a girl and then I lay her down on her back. And then I like stroking my fingers across her neck, slowly down the side of her neck before I kiss her. So I'm saying exactly the same shit that she said to me, I'm just wording it differently. So she's like, oh my God, that sounds good. Of course it sounds good, bitch. You just told it to me and I'm just repeating it back to you. That's why it sounds good. But that's the magic, right? That's the magic of what we're doing. So that would be my best sex line. Once again, I apologize for cussing. If you've never seen me teach before, I do cuss a lot. And on a Monday morning, I cuss a heck of a lot because it's Monday morning. And that's my excuse. Matt, how are we doing? How are we looking on viewers now? What are we up to now?
58 right now.
58. All right, so this is creeping up. We're getting back up to what we usually have. I don't know if you guys know, there's typically 800 people watch this video from start to finish. And then it gets sent out to God knows how many thousands of people. And there's like 280,000 people, I think, eventually see the whole video. But initially, There's usually about 100 people that watch it live, or 200 people sometimes, and then there's a whole bunch more people that watch the replay, and then it goes on to everybody. So, point being, for those of you guys that are here, the 60 or so of you guys that are watching it right now, you're lucky. You have an opportunity to talk to me and to ask questions. However, don't just send questions because they're just going to go to Matt. If you want to chat to Matt in the side room, you're more than welcome to chat to Matt. Matt's going to keep you guys on topic and make sure that the subject is all about seductive conversation. But if while you're chatting and while you're talking, I offer questions up to you and I'm like, hey guys, say this, please, as quick as possible, react, because I want to talk to you. I want to know that I'm teaching you the right stuff. I want to know that I'm helping you. I'm just donating my time for this. I don't get paid for it. I do it for fun. I do it because I like helping people. So please interact with me. Make sure I'm helping you, because that's why I'm here. So let's do a test. If you're in the chat room right now, I want to see like 58 replies. Just be like, hi Matt. Hi Matt. And everyone just say hi to Matt, because Matt puts in his time as well. He does get paid though. Lucky motherfucker. So hi Matt. Is everyone writing hi Matt? Good. I want to see 58 hi Matt. If you haven't said hi Matt, just think, this guy's putting in effort. He's taking time out of his day. All right, he is getting paid for it, but still, he has a busy day, and he's taking time out to help you guys. And you guys get this for free, so the least you can do is just say hi to Matt, the guy that's organizing it or making sure the technical stuff goes. All right, what is seductive conversation? What the hell is it? Seductive conversation is very simple. It's a kind of conversation specifically designed to trigger oxytocin in the girl's brain, which is the love chemical. What that means is we are trying to talk in a way that is going to release a chemical inside her brain that is going to get her turned on. That's what we're doing. And for those of you guys that still believe in the Father Christmas of love, you still believe that it's just a magical thing that just happens, or if you're romantic enough, a girl likes you. I'm sorry to say that's not what it is. When somebody is attracted to you, it's just because you triggered a lot of oxytocin in their brain. That's all that's happened. And they've got self-defense mechanisms designed to stop you doing that. Seductive conversation gets around it. If we can talk to her in a way that makes her feel comfortable and lets her body react on a hormonal level to just release that oxytocin, there's nothing she can do. It's the same excuse she gives you every month why she's pissed off. And she's like, I can't help it, it's my hormones, I'm just pissed off. It's like, no, woman. What's happening is hormones are being released and they're controlling you, and that's what it is. And the reason for that to happen is because that's how your body works. And that means if you use seductive conversation, you can trigger different hormones that will release oxytocin, and it will make her become aroused. And when she's aroused, she'll want to have sex with you, or realistically, whoever is the person that is generating those hormones with her, which should be you if you have learned seductive conversation in this seminar. Matt, did you get 58 hi Matts?
We have
a billion hi Matts. Perfect. Well done, guys. I love that you got a billion. That meant you all did more than one. So, that's what seductive conversation is. That's its purpose. The whole point is when we're having normal conversation, we shift into seductive conversation, and while we're in that seductive conversation, we turn the girl on and we get to release that oxytocin, which makes her want to have sex with you. Now we're going to talk about vocal tone, because vocal tone is very important when we're talking about seductive conversation. I like to think that when it comes down to conversation, there are 3 different types of vocal tone you can use. In reality, there are bazillions, but let's just talk about the core 3. Why is vocal tone important? I don't know. Many of you have probably heard that 93% of all communication is nonverbal. If you haven't heard that, Google it, because it's real, but not right now, because I want you to focus on the seminar. But 93% of conversation is nonverbal, but did you know that 38% of that 93% is verbal? And this is, or as in vocal tone, verbal, not words. So what that means is, yes, the majority of your conversation or your communication is done via non-verbal means, but people assume that means body language. It doesn't. Body language only makes up like 50-something% of it. 38% of it is vocal tone. So understanding vocal tone is very important. And what's funny is very few people watching this will probably have ever put any time or attention into learning vocal tone. And yet it is incredibly important when it comes to conversation. So for example, we should totally write an article, Matt, by the way. It just popped in my head that did you know 93% of communication is nonverbal, but did you know that 38% of that is made out of something that is not body language? That's a good. You guys just saw how my brain works. That's where I get my articles from. And then I just tell Matt, and I'm like, Matt, write that. No, not really. We write it together. But it just popped in my head. So, vocal tone. All right, so what are the 3 different types of vocal tone that we could be using? Well, first of all, we're going to have the attention-grabbing vocal tone. Bonus points if you can guess when you use attention-grabbing vocal tone. When do we need it? Write it down right now. Like in the chat, write it down. Let's see how many of you actually know this stuff already. So, when do we use the attention-grabbing vocal tone? Now, the attention attention-grabbing vocal tone sounds very specific. The attention-grabbing vocal tone is a booming sound, and it is loud, and it is designed to carry your voice. Now, funny enough, in a nightclub, you do not want to use a high-pitched voice. You want to use a deep voice. A deep voice is going to be easier on you, and it's going to carry further. If you're like, oh my God, hey guys! You're going to kill your throat because you're talking in the upper region of your mouth, and that high-pitched tone is going to get swallowed out by the music and the sound of the room. If you want sound to carry, then you need that deep, booming voice that's going to make it happen. So if I want to get everyone's attention, I'm going to be like, hey guys! By going deeper and lower and projecting out, it's louder and it doesn't hurt my voice at all, so I can speak like it much easier. Now, of course, you don't want to fake your vocal tone. If normally your vocal range is about here, you don't want to be like, hey guys, how's everyone doing? Because that's going to be strange. But you do, when you get that initial attention, you do want to be like, hey guys. And having it deep and booming is what's going to get their attention and bring them into you. What are people's answers? What do they say? When do we use the attention grabbing?
Waiting on
There's a delay. They haven't seen it yet. Okay, yeah, there's a delay. Sorry, gang. There is a bit of a delay, but I'm curious to see if any of you know. Spoilers, you use it at the beginning of a conversation. So hopefully with the delay, they won't have seen this and they'll get that. You use it at the beginning of a conversation, and we specifically do that to make sure that an entire crowd give us their attention. When you're opening a group for the first time, one of the worst things you can do is focus on just one person. If you focus on just one person, the conversation is just going to be between the two of you, and you're going to trigger a chance of cock blocks coming in and pulling her away. So if there's like 4 girls and I talk to one of them, there's 3 left, and the 3 left that are being ignored, like, who the fuck is this guy, and why is he ignoring us? Oh, he's trying to take Jenny away from us. Quick, let's all get rid of him. And that's where cock blocks come from. If I go in and talk to all 4 of them at once, they're like, oh my God, this guy's great, we really like him. Then I can take Jenny away with their permission. Cock blocks nullified. So if you want to make that happen, you need to make sure that all of them know you're talking to all of them. If I just go up to Jen and I'm like, hey, how you doing? Blah, 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 blah. That's not really going to work. I'm going to create cock blocks. Instead, I'm like, hey guys, I just wanted to ask you this. I can move in, speak to the entire group, and then I have a much better chance of generating attraction. What are people saying?
Yeah, so people were saying the beginning of the conversation.
Good, they knew. The beginning of the conversation is exactly where you use attention grabbing. Okay, so let's move on. Conversational vocal tone. Once again, here's a question. When do you use conversational vocal tone? Sounds obvious, but is it? Could this be a trick? Only way you'll find out is if you put down a comment, and then I'll give the answer in just a moment. Conversational vocal tone is very simple. It's your normal speaking voice. It's how you sound when you talk to your mum in the morning, hopefully when you're not complaining about pancakes not being cooked correctly. The whole way we do vocal tone normally is like this. The way I'm speaking to you, it's normal, it's interesting, but the most important thing that you'll know about me versus the average person is it's dynamic and engaged. And what I mean by this is I have energy as I'm speaking to you. I'm not just like, hey guys, so today we're going to be talking about... My vocal tone's kind of the same, but I'm removing the dynamic element to it and I'm removing the engaged. I'm not really focused on you guys and I'm not being dynamic or excited about what I'm saying. Something that people love about me, and I get this all the time when I meet strangers and people that watch me online and what have you, they're always like, wow, you're always so animated, you're always so engaged, we love it. This shit takes energy. Look at this. It's a huge drink of caffeine. I need that to be this engaged. I'm not naturally like this every day. People look at me like, oh, it's easy for you. You're always full of energy. No, I'm full of energy when I drink a venti Starbucks refresher filled with green tea caffeine. That's when I've got energy, but I have to do this because this is what I'm doing. I'm working. I want you to understand that I care about what you're saying. In the same way when I meet a girl in a bar, I need to be engaged and entertained and interested. So when I'm talking to them, I'm like, oh my God, nice to meet you. Hi, I'm Adam. I am focused. I am engaged. I'm connected to them. I'm showing there's dynamic elements to how I speak. So my conversational vocal tone is not the same as the vocal tone I would use when I sit down and hang out with Matt in the evening and ask Matt if he wants to play a board game with us. Like last night, I'm chilling on my sofa, or not on my sofa, on my dining table. True? Yeah. I'm sitting and I'm like, hey Matt, do you want to come and play a board game with us? It's normal, like really normal. It's not my conversational vocal tone. My conversational vocal tone is like, hey Matt, do you want to come and play a board game with us? Dude, this game is so fun, you're going to love it. So there's a big difference, right? Just like, hey Matt, do you want to come and join us? Versus, hey Matt, come play with us. This is going to be so much fun. You also notice it's not really a question when I'm doing my conversational tone because I instantly shift into game. I instantly shift into thinking about what I'm saying. I'm leading rather than asking, and I'm controlling my conversation. So I have like 2 modes. I have game mode, which I use when I'm picking up people, or I'm teaching seminar, or I'm trying to generate attraction. And I have passive me mode. A lot of guys like, I just want to be myself. You are yourself, but you have to be the most dynamic, most engaged, most interesting, most attractive version of yourself, which is this version as opposed to this version. And if you're like, that's never me, it's like, well, no, that's not actually true. That is you when you're excited, happy, when something great happens in your life. Maybe if you're watching your favorite football game, or you're doing your favorite sport, or playing your favorite video game, and you're like playing the game like this, you're like, oh, come on! That is the person you need to be, but less aggressive, less swear words, and don't throw the controller at the person you're talking to. So, cool. What answers did we get for conversational?
So you were saying you began using conversational tone out. Sorry, you just during mid-conversation.
You begin using during mid-conversation? Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so here's what you can do. I'm going to use attention grabbing probably until I'm in one-on-one conversation with somebody. So this is like, you guys are thinking about time, like when you use it. It's not really time. It's all to do with situation. So when I first meet somebody, I'm going to be using the attention grabbing. I'm going to talk to everybody at once. And so it's going to be like, hey guys, I just wanted to run something by you. Me and my friend were just talking outside, and we were wondering why every time we meet someone new, you always talk about the same shit. Like, we figured we'd talk to somebody new and see if they would even be interested in talking about something that wasn't the same bullshit that everyone talks about when they first meet. So that could be a pre-scripted opening line you could use. Not the best kind of line, but still better than just like, hey, what's up? So if we're going to use that kind of line, I'm going to be attention grabbing, I'm going to address the whole group. Once I've got past that initial conversation and I've found the girl that I'm actually talking to, then I'm going to be like, oh my God, it's so nice to meet you. Hi, I'm Adam, blah, blah, blah. And now I'm going to have that animated, dynamic conversation. It's not like overly excited. So I'm like, oh my God, it's so good to see you. That's not what it's about. It's like, oh my God, that's great. Nice to meet you. So I can speak slowly and still be dynamic and energized. Now, this is moving away from seductive conversation, but it's the build up to it. So that's the foundation. The third vocal tone is seductive, and this motherfucker, is the one that no one uses. I see students all the time in field just having conversation and being like, it doesn't go anywhere. Of course it doesn't go anywhere. You're not shifting to seductive vocal tone. What does it sound like? That's my question for you. Describe it. So if I told you that attention grabbing is deep, loud, slow, and controlling, and if I told you that conversational vocal tone is dynamic and engaged and at points excited but not overly excited, how do you describe seductive vocal tone? What is it that makes it so unique? Let's see that written down. Let's see you guys write that down and put it down there. Matt, did you know your cat is stealing your food from right in front of you?
I did.
Okay, just wasn't sure if you knew. Thought I'd let you know.
Try it, but they're saying slow and low.
Slow and low, deep.
Sensual, soft, slow, romantic.
Soft, sensual, slow, romantic. Cool, that's awesome. That is pretty much sums it up. If I'm going to use seductive tone, I'm going to be speaking like this. I'm going to be like, first of all, there's a smile. There is a smile through the whole seduction process. Why is there a smile? Because the point of the seductive process is to trigger oxytocin. And oxytocin is triggered by good conversation, sex, and laughter, which means you smile. You have to smile. And there are people out there that teach don't smile. And those are the same people that you don't see in relationships with people. You hear them talking about picking up chicks. You might see them on the street picking up a chick, but you don't see them in relationships with them because they don't trigger oxytocin. So even if the girl does occasionally have sex with them every so often that they get lucky, they never turn into anything deep and meaningful because they don't trigger oxytocin, which is the relationship bonding and forming chemical. If you want to trigger oxytocin, you must smile. Think about it. Do you want to live in a house with somebody who's constantly like this? Hey, so just wanted to talk to you today. I was just thinking maybe we should have sex later. You don't want to live in the house with that person. Maybe you'll have sex with them once, just because you like the color of their hair or something. But you do not want to be in a relationship with that person. It doesn't happen, right? You want to be in a relationship with this person. Hi, good morning. You're like, oh my God, that's who I want. The happy person that smiles. That's who you want. Everybody, because it's oxytocin based. So smiling. Seductive conversation sounds exactly like this. It's slow. There are pauses. And you're smiling as if you've got this joke that you know, that they know, but neither one of you is going to speak about it. And yes, the tone sounds lower, but actually, it's more that there is a depth to it. And because of the way that you're speaking, which is softer, it can sound lower. But actually, in my vocal tone, I'm not really bringing it from that deep place. I could. And deeper has been shown to be more seductive to women. but it doesn't have to be. What it does have to be is contain pauses and make sure there's plenty of smiles. Now that's seductive vocal tone. That's the shit right there. I can almost guarantee that 50% of you threw your underwear at the screen while I was speaking like that. Okay, you probably didn't because you're men, but you get my point. The point is that is what it sounds like. Now why? Why do we have to speak like that? It's very simple. We're trying to put her in a comfortable space. You're about to talk about some really deep shit that's going to turn her on. And you cannot turn a girl on by being like, hey guys, I just wanted to ask which one of you want to throw your panties at me. True story. I had a group of girls I took out to a nightclub, and this is back in like 2007, and we met these rich millionaire Americans. And the girls were like, we want to go back to their place, but we don't want to go there without you because we don't trust them. And so I was like, okay, fine, I'll come back with you. So I went back to these houses. So it's like 2 rich millionaires, me, and like 6 girls. So we're all at their place. They walk in, and the guys had that voice. They got like, hey, how you guys doing? Good to meet y'all. Like they had that like deep, booming, they had this voice, the attention commanding voice. But it's the only one they used. So we get back in their place. We're all sitting in the sofa, and we've all got drinks. And one of the guys comes in and goes, so hey guys, do you want me to put MTV on the TV? Or do you guys want to watch porn? And everyone's like, MTV. And it was like, this was his moment. Like, you could tell he wanted to create this orgy, but he used the wrong voice. You can't attention grab sex. You can't do that. You can't be like, hey, who wants to start the orgy? Do you want to go first? How about you? Want to suck my dick? You can't do that. That doesn't happen. That only in like weird movies does that actually happen. In the real world, it doesn't. In the real world, it's got to be seductive. I've had a bunch of orgies. Matt, what did you find on my video camera the other day?
Adam with 3 other women.
You found me with 3 other women in a video, right? So he's got me and actually 4 other women if you watch, but whatever. Matt didn't pay attention.
3 in front of the camera.
3 in front of the camera. Yeah, there's one beside me. Touche. So there's me with 4 other women. And at any point, did you hear me going, hey guys, let's do this? It's fun, right? We were all having fun. Yeah. But my vocal tone in it is mostly seductive. Most of the time when I'm talking, I'm like, hey guys, let's do this now. Or, hey guys, let's do that. It's soft, but I'm still controlling what's happening. But the tone is different. So seductive tone is what you're looking to create. How's everyone doing in the chat? Are people with me? Are you with me? Do you understand what I'm saying? If you understand, let Matt know. Let him know what's going on. Be like, yeah, that makes so much sense. I really understand. If you don't, if you're like, you know what, Adam's full of shit. I totally get orgies all the time by using my attention-grabbing tone. Then, let me know that too. Like, I'm open to have a discussion about this. I want to help you guys really get the results that you want. So fill me in. Let me know what's going on in the chat. What are we getting from people?
They're still recovering from laughing at what you're saying. They're laughing pretty hard.
They're laughing at what? I didn't remember what I said that was funny. Was it them throwing their knickers at the screen?
Maybe.
I didn't remember.
Yes, they're 100% with you. I totally get it. Yeah, makes sense. Yes.
They get it. All right, that's good. Is anyone not getting it? Is anyone confused? Is anyone like, this is bullshit? Do we have any of those people? We never get those horrible people in the chat. Guys, I love you guys. I literally, I don't know if you get this, I donate my free time. I want you to imagine that you donate your free time. I stopped giving free live seminars. I don't give free live seminars anymore. And it's because every so often there'd be some idiot in the room that would turn up just to have a fight with me. And I was like, I don't want to deal with this shit. And I love it. I do these free seminars weekly at this point, and I don't get any hate. It's so nice because I really do this literally to try and help you guys. And also to show you, whatever it is that we think might help you out in your journey as well. So I appreciate when you guys are really positive. I appreciate when you ask questions. I appreciate when you get involved. And I appreciate when you click on the links at the end as well, because that really helps me too, because it usually is promoting one of my friends, or it's promoting some kind of program that we've created individually. And again, we're not promoting stuff that we don't think helps. We actually have a big meeting each week discussing what we think might be something you guys would like and that might be something that can help you. And again, no pressure from us to buy anything, but we love it when you click and check it out and have a look and see for yourself, because honestly, you'd be surprised at just how incredible some of the programs are out there. The one that we're going to talk about today, Make Women Want You, literally does that. It's created by one of my best friends. I won't tell you too much about it right now, but again, at the end of the video, just click and just listen to him, because he's fucking clever, this guy. He's a very good friend of mine. So anyway, thank you. That's my thank you. All right, what do we talk about? If we're having seductive conversation, what is it? Are we so yeah, I've got this big penis that I use as a spare leg when my other leg gets tired. What do we talk about? Do we talk about a junk? Do we talk about, I've got dick pics on my phone I can send you. Do we talk about that? Do we talk about her junk? Are we so nice panties you've got on? Just so you know, panties get me hot. One of my friends said to me today, he's I like thigh highs. But he didn't say it like that because we're friends. But still, the point is, what do we say? Are you what are we going to do after this? Go back to my place and sex? What do we talk about? Actually, funny enough, sex is one of the topics, but it's not the biggest. It doesn't tend to get girls that turned on as much as men. I had a conversation with a very good friend of mine last night, actually, who is a amateur porn star, which means she does it, but does it infrequently. It's not like her day job. She is a incredibly beautiful lingerie model, and some of you guys may even know who she is, but she's a very good friend of mine. And we were discussing this yesterday, and I was trying to explain to her the difference between being male and female. And I was like, because I work with a lot of women. I was like, tell me if I'm wrong, and I outlined something to her. She goes, oh my God, that's amazing. I was like, once a month, do you get like really horny for no reason? And she's like, yeah, it's like for a couple of days, like all she can think about is sex. I'm like, I want you to imagine that, multiply it by 10, and then make sure it happens every single day, all the time, every day, except for the 35 minutes directly after the last time you had sex. And she's like, oh, that would be crazy. I'm like, that's male. Being a male, that's what it is, all the time. Do you guys agree with me, by the way? Because I'm like, I made this up one day, and I was like, I'm pretty sure I'm right. Matt, do you agree with me? Yeah, Matt agrees with me. Matt knows what it's about. Do you guys agree with me? Do you think that's what it is? Because I think that's the best way to describe a woman, why men think about sex so much. Like, men think about sex every 6 seconds of the day. They're pathetic. Like, girls think that, and it's like, no, fuck you. I want you to imagine that one moment when you're really, really turned on. Oh my God, I know that. And imagine that all the time, because that's what, that chemically, by the way, hormones, that one moment a month is when they get testosterone. That one moment. They got a little bit the rest of the time, but that one moment during the month, their body will create testosterone to make them want sex, because testosterone is the chemical that turns you on and makes you want sex. Testicles. Do you know what their job is? The key is in the name. It's to make testosterone. Women don't have testicles. Men do. And they're fucking huge comparatively, right? You think how much testosterone is generated. You find the testicles on the female body and then work out how much testosterone they have. They don't have testicles and they have very little testosterone. Testicles, yo. It's like a big fucking chunk of our body designed to feed us with testosterone that makes us want to have sex. So that's why we like sex all the time. But there is a moment in a month when a girl has that feeling and she wants it. So, and there is some testosterone in there. So sex is a good topic, but it isn't the best topic and it isn't the only topic. You have to hit it, but you don't want to hit it first. I like talking about sex. I've put it out of order on the board, actually. Last. Sex is going to be my final topic. It's also sometimes my first topic, but we'll talk about that in a minute. The key things that I like to talk to a girl about are ambition, the promise of the future, and telling them about themselves. These are the things that I like to talk about the most, and this will make up the bulk of the conversation. So for example, ambition. I talk about my ambitions. I talk about things that I want to be doing in life, and I always make sure those things sound ambitious. So for example, right now, me and my girlfriends are really excited about the fact that we're going to build a house. What do I know about building houses? Nothing. Zero. Absolutely nothing. I know nothing about it. And yet, Matt, how many hours have been put into talking about building a house right now? Go for it. Like,
how many hours? It's how many days?
It's how many days, right?
Yeah.
Days have been spent discussing building a house. We're like looking at plans and we're discussing it and we're all talking about it. Why are we doing that? Because talking about the future is attractive. I'm not saying we're not going to build a house. I think we are going to build a house. But right now I don't know how to do it, but it all starts with thinking I'm going to learn how to build a house. So we are learning how to do it right now. And these discussions, these conversations are the things that make it attractive, and it's the things that get the girls turned on. When they go to bed and they're all giggling and excited about the big house that we're going to have one day, that is the point where they want sex the most. It's not because I sat there talking about sex. I've spoken to those girls about sex hundreds of thousands of times. The point when they want to talk about sex is when they're all excited about living in a big house and all the wondrous things they're going to have. One day that has to come true. If it doesn't, I'm full of shit. But I've told them it's a 10, 20-year plan. It's not like a 2-year plan. So I've set their standards. They know they've got to wait for it, but we're working on it. We know we're working towards it, and that gets them excited about the future, which is the promise of the future. What is the future going to look like? And you talk about yourself. You don't talk about her unless you're in a relationship with her. If you're not in a relationship with somebody, then you're talking specifically about your own goals. But the idea is to paint a picture of the future that looks attractive. Because when you're seducing somebody, you're making them fall in love with the idea of you and what you're going to be, not who you are today. And this is how somebody who is not attractive right now can still be attractive. I'll give you an example. Let's imagine that you work at McDonald's. Hopefully none of you guys do work at McDonald's because I don't think McDonald's is going to be around that much longer. But let's assume that you do work at McDonald's. And so you're working at McDonald's and this is your job and this is what you do for a living, and you meet a girl. She comes up to you and she's like, so what do you do for a living? And you can be like, I work at McDonald's. How seductive is that on a scale of 1 to 10? It's like 0. You know how else you could make that sound shit if you didn't work at McDonald's? Let's just say you earn $1 million a year working for, I don't know, Charles Schwab Bank. What do you do for a living, she says. And you're like, work at a bank? 0. The money's irrelevant. So if you're like, yeah, well, you work at McDonald's, of course it's 0. No, it's not because it's McDonald's. It's because the way you answered. You didn't answer seductively. You said a fucking bullshit answer. There was no promise of the future. There was no ambition. So it didn't work. If you really want to be attractive, then you need to sell the future. You need to make it sound amazing. So me, when I tell somebody about, if I worked at McDonald's, I'd be like, well, right now, you know what? I'm not going to tell you because you'll hate it. And the girl will be like, no, tell me. No, you're going to judge me. People always judge me. No, I won't. You go, okay, well, right now I'm working at McDonald's. And then wait for her to judge you. And she probably won't because she said she won't and human beings like to be consistent. And then she'll say, okay. And you go, but look, it's not where I'm working, it's why I'm working there. She says, why are you working there? I go, well, I'm putting the money aside and I'm saving up to go to culinary school. Oh, why are you going to culinary school? Well, I got this idea. I want to create this chain of restaurants that focuses on organic eating. And then specifically what I want to do is I want to do a process where when you buy a meal, you know, everyone's always got leftovers and then you package it up and you take it when you don't do anything with it and it's like bullshit. I want to do a thing where you've got an option to buy a half meal because people overeat in America. So you got a choice. You can either have a full meal or a half meal. But here's the catch. The half meal costs the same as the full meal. The price is exactly the same, but you can just choose to have half of it. And they go, well, what happens to the rest? We go, well, the rest of it, it gets donated to children or to whatever cause it is. Do you know how fucking sexy that is? It's like you have this ambition or this vision of the future that's great and wonderful and good. And just so you know, that idea came from a real person. Like, I didn't make that up. It's not like, oh my God, what a great idea. I didn't come up with that idea. I heard it from a guy saying it to a girl, and that was his seductive conversation. You know what girls say when you say shit like that? Wow, that's awesome. I love that. He's not doing it now. Motherfucker works at McDonald's. But his plan is to do it. And that plan is attractive. And he's got a vision of the future. So he's promising what the future is going to look like. And she falls in love with the idea of who he will be, not who he is today. And that is what makes somebody seductive. Because you're basically painting this whole picture of what the future is going to look like within a moment of meeting them. And when you do that, by speaking in a seductive way, then you're triggering oxytocin, getting them to picture a future. And by them picturing your future that is all about you, they will wonder what it would be like to be through it themselves. They put themselves in that future, and now they're imagining being with you, and you guys haven't even made out yet. That is what it means to be seductive. You are implanting, it's almost like inception. You're planting a vision in their head, and they are the ones that are allowing it to bloom. And then another thing you can do is you can teach them something about themselves, because human beings tend to be selfish. After she's had this vision of your future and put herself in it, by the way, which is really fucking rude, you're then, you're going to teach her something about herself, which is going to make her like you even more. Are you guys with me so far? I just realized I haven't done a check-in for a second. Is everyone saying, are they okay with this? Are they like, oh my God, that doesn't make sense?
They're trying to connect it to their own situation. Like one guy's like, how would you word it if I was going to be in law enforcement?
Okay, no, I love this.
Yeah.
How would I word it if I'm going to be in law enforcement?
Yeah, he's studying to be in law enforcement.
Okay, so you're studying to be in law enforcement, but here's the thing, but what's next? What are you going to do with that? And that's what people don't do. They don't think ahead, right? They don't think about what their future is going to be. What are you going to do next? So I'll give you an example. One of my girlfriends, her dad just retired from law enforcement. He worked in law enforcement for years. If I'd have said to him 10 years ago, what are you going to do in the future? He'd be like, oh, just keep working, making money. This is what his focus would have been. This is the things that he would have said that he's doing. However, the more I've known him and the more I've got to spend time with him, I've realized his future is actually something amazing. All of the money he made in law enforcement, all of it, he put into building up this beautiful plot of land with houses on it for his grandchildren. And everything he's doing is he's building up for the grandkids, and he's built like 4x4 cars and like a track for them to drive around. It's like a grass track, but whatever. It's like there with like hills and stuff like that for fun for the kids. So for him, his ambition for the future is kids. And now, yeah, you might be thinking, well, that's not that attractive. And yet, you know what? But his wife thinks it's one of the most attractive things in the world. He's been married for a long time, and he's doing it for her and for their kids. So he's got this amazing promise of the future. It's not that you work in law enforcement. It's what are you going to do with it? It's like, yeah, I could say, what am I doing next year? Well, my goals are to grow my business even bigger. Okay, that's not attractive. No, but you know what is attractive? Building a house, the perfect family house, like the picture perfect house that they've imagined since they were kids. Now that's attractive. So what do you doing with law enforcement? Why are you doing it? Are you planning on doing it because you want to become a senator one day and you want to have a track record of actually going out there and fighting crime? Are you doing it because you're tired of the crime in your area and you want to be a superhero, but being a real superhero is illegal, so you can do it the legal way to get in law enforcement? Why? Why are you doing this? That's where the seduction lies. That's where the attraction lies. Why? What is the purpose? And if you don't have one yet, if you've not thought about it, that's okay, but now's the time to think about it. Cool. Does that make sense? Do we get any others? Let's do one more example before we move on.
Yeah, one guy was saying, what do I say if my ambition or vision is to be a dating coach?
What do I say if my ambition or vision is to be a dating coach? Same thing. Why? Why is your ambition to be a dating coach? What do you want to do about it? You want to help other people? Then you're going to talk about the stories and the problems that people have. For me, that was like my thing. I told everyone I wanted to be a dating coach. They're like, why? And I was like, because I'm tired of women dating guys that they're unhappy with and getting cheated on and cheating on them. And I'm tired of guys thinking that life can't be any better and they can never meet a girl. I'm tired of that, so I want to help. So knowing the why is where the promise of the future comes in. And then you can also teach them something about themselves. Now, this is great. The easiest way to teach somebody about themselves is to do some kind of personality test. I love these. You should learn them. My personal favorite is the PEN model with iSync. And I basically sit down and teach it to them. But I've got a friend of mine who learned Myers-Briggs, and he uses that. Find some online personality test, learn it, get qualified in it. There's the Paul Ekman one, which is the FACS, which is the ability to read facial expressions. There's a bunch of this stuff that you can find online. Or another way you can do it is you can there's that link at the end here, Make Women Want You. You can learn how to make women want you, and as part of that, become an expert in what makes a woman choose somebody. So when you talk to teach somebody about themselves, you could literally say to a girl, hey, you know what? Do you currently have a boyfriend? And she's going to be like, yes or no. And if she's like, no, you go, you know what's funny? Have you ever looked at why you pick a partner? And she'll be like, yeah, no. Like, what do you think it is? And hear what they think it is. And then you can be like, what if I could tell you how you actually pick a partner? I bet I could give you an answer that you would find completely fascinating. And even though you don't think of it currently, you'd probably agree that this is how you meet somebody. And she'll be like, what? No, how do you know this about me? Tell me. Because we love hearing about something about ourselves. You want evidence of that? Horoscopes. Just look at the kind of website traffic that horoscopes get online. It's insane. Horoscopes are a huge factor because everyone loves hearing about themselves. I want to hear what my day is going to be like. It's made up. It's not real. That's not really what your day is going to be like. And yet we all want to know. We all want to see it. Fortune cookies, same thing. Why? Because you're telling me something about myself that I can't possibly know and I can't possibly refute. So make women want you. You could use literally to get women to learn more about themselves, about how they want other people. And by teaching them the thing that triggers attraction, that's something you can do. So as a dating coach, that's what I used to do. I used to sit down with girls and say, let me teach you what triggers attraction in your own mind. And girls would be like, wow, how do you know that? I didn't even realize half this stuff. And I'm like, well, I learned it because I read books and I do stuff. And so you could do exactly the same thing. So what about talking about sex? When does that come into it? When I talk about sex, I'll go right back to the beginning. I use a very similar line to the one that I taught you guys right at the very start. The only difference is when I do it is I make sure I use it with seductive conversation. So when I'm sitting there, I'd be like, all right, so I'll tell you something. I've given up bad sex. I was like, what do you mean? I go, no, I made a decision. I'm only going to have good sex from now on. So I'm going to use the exact technique I spoke at the beginning, and then I'm going to feed it in by using the seductive vocal tone and bring the whole thing together. So here's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to take you through a rough look at what a whole conversation will look like, and then we're going to talk about a Q&A and why you guys need to click on this link to learn about how to make women want you. So first of all, when I first meet a group, I'm going to use the attention grab vocal tone. Hey guys, I just want to come over here to talk to you guys about something. Me and my buddy were just chatting out the back earlier on, and we realized that everyone in the bar is having the same conversation. I swear to God. Like, I just walked past 3 different groups of people that met each other for the first time, and it's always the same. Hi, how are you? What do you do for a living? Yada, yada, yada. Like, I don't get it. Why do people always have the same bullshit conversation? So we decided we're going to meet someone new, and we're not going to have the same conversation. How's that sound to you guys? And so the girls are going to be like, okay. And there's always hesitation at first because they're not used to it. So I'm like, okay, here's what's going to happen. Rather than saying what we do for a living or whatever, I don't want to switch names of anybody. You guess what we do at 3 p.m. on a Thursday afternoon. And then afterwards, you can pick a time and a day, and we're going to try and guess what you do at that time. It's going to be a guessing game. We're going to see how it goes. And while we're doing that, I suggest shots for everybody. Who wants a shot? And so you're sitting there, you're being loud and big, and you're making it fun. Now, some people might be like, oh, you're just trying to buy girls a drink. I'm not trying to buy girls a drinks. I'm trying to make sure that my new friends and me are all sharing around. If you hung out with your friends and you shared a round of drinks, that would be okay. But if you're like, hey, can I buy you a drink? A, it's a question, you're not leading. B, you're buying them a drink for no purpose whatsoever. in this situation, the meeting wasn't about buying drinks. The meeting was about playing a game, and we're just going to have random drinks while we play the game. So it makes it totally acceptable. Learning these finer keys are the key, I suppose, to being good at this. So once we're in, then we're going to have normal conversation. So we're going to be sitting there guessing what people do. So we're like, all right, so Thursday, wait, don't tell me. Thursday evening, you are having Netflix and chill, but alone, not with anybody else. They'd be like, no, not really, I'm with my boyfriend. Great, now I know who's got a boyfriend or not. See, the information starts coming out. And they go, okay, yeah, you got me. I'm like, and a tub of ice cream. I go, oh, how did you know? It's, I didn't, I guess, but you look like the ice cream eating type. Not because you're fat, because you're not. But because you look like the person that can secretly eat as much ice cream as you want and never gain weight. And they'll be like, oh my God, that's so true. Or whatever it is. So these are the kind of conversations that I'm going to have with people in the conversational tone. During that, I'm going to identify the girl that I like. Once I find the girl that I like, then I'm going to sit down with her. And then I'm going to talk about this. So I'm going to be like, all right, I'm curious. Every time I meet people, I'm always wondering about like what their visions are for the future, like what their aims and ambitions are. You seem like somebody that's got your life figured out. Like not like your whole life, but I bet you've got a plan for the future. What are you working towards right now? Fill me in. So she's going to tell me her ambition. And then after that, I'm going to tell her mine. And when I do, I'm going to switch to the seductive tone. So I go, okay, so here's mine. This is like, don't laugh, but like, let me tell you what, this is my vision for the future. I'm actually working on building a house right now. Working on building a house? Okay, not like building it, like drawing it. And I'm like, wow, you're like an architect? No, like with a whiteboard, and you're giving me too much credit. We just met. No, it's a whiteboard. I'm outlining it, but like, you know, I am working on it right now. I get this idea, like, you know, you grow up and you think, wow, I just want to have like this picture perfect house, and then you spend your whole life looking for it. You know, you're trying to rent it or buy it or whatever, and you never get the house you want, and it's because you didn't design it yourself. I realized this, and so I'm sitting down, I'm trying to design my own perfect house. So by using the seductive tone and having the ambition, she's like, oh my God, that's great. I get that concept. And then you can say to her, like, what would your perfect house be? So now I'm using the seductive tone. I'm painting a promise of the future. I'm giving her ambition. I'm showing her mine. And notice everything I'm talking about is stuff that I've spoken about today, stuff that I've learned today or I've shared with you today, so you can see how it works. And then once I've gotten to that point, we're laughing and giggling about both of our ideal houses. I'm like, I want a secret door in my house, and I want this, and I want that. And I'm getting her to tell me hers. And I'd be like, you know what's funny? I can tell, like, you're really friendly and open. That tells me a lot about the kind of guy that you typically date. And she's like, wait, what? I'd be like, yeah, like, I can tell. Like, I spoke to you earlier on, you mentioned you're single, and I think I know why. I think it's because you haven't found the kind of guy that you want. That phrase is amazing, by the way. Like, when you say to somebody who's single, I think the reason you're single is because you haven't found anyone you like. Of course, that is the reason they're single. If they had found someone they like, they wouldn't be single. So like, it's such a powerful phrase, but it looks like you are teaching them something about themselves. And then you can have a discussion with them about it. And you can be like, okay, so like, describe your perfect guy. See what I'm doing here? I'm not actually guessing anything. Tell me your perfect guy. And she's going to describe her perfect guy. Now, I'm not going to be like, oh my God, that's just me. After she describes it, I'll be like, wow, shit, you just described my perfect girl, I think. Except, you know, ideally the girl would have a butt and boobs and a vagina instead of a dick. But I get it, I feel you, I agree with that. So you just want to make it sound like you both want the same kind of thing, and then you build a bond. And from that point, I can say, but you know, my problem is, even after everything you just described, that wouldn't be it for me. And she's like, what? I go, because I've given up bad sex. Boom. And we move into that very first line that I opened with. And that would be a full seduction. That would be a very simple way of transitioning from attention grabbing to conversation to seductive. And once I've gotten to that point, we're laughing, giggling, we're talking about sex, even though we've just met. That it would be a very simple, full range of a conversation that I could have with somebody. It's something easy that you can copy and you can duplicate. So I wanted to give you that full thing. And the only thing that can make that better, the only way that that could work any better, is if the girl already wanted you, or if she didn't want you, if you did a couple of quick tweaks to make her want you. Now, the easiest way to do that is there is a link beneath this video. Now, I've been told you may not be able to see that link. And the reason for this is when we were building up this particular YouTube thing, there was some kind of glitch that happened. So I want everybody to click refresh on the screen, like literally right now. Don't worry about the video. It won't go back to the beginning. It should continue from this point because it's live. So you want to do it now. Click refresh. Like once you've done it, like type refresh to Matt and let them know that you've done it. Because I just want to make sure that link actually is there. And then if it is there, you can click on it and put it to one side, open it in a new tab and save it. And you're going to learn the technique that my very good buddy Jason teaches. Literally, it's like one of my best friends. We go out to strip clubs all the time together. He's a great guy. And he's going to break down how to make women want you. And it's something that I think everybody should learn. Like, even if you don't go through and start training with him or do his program or anything, you don't have to. But watching that video can make a huge difference because you will learn what makes women want you. And I think it's an important thing to learn. Cool. Let's do a quick Q&A. I'll answer like 3 questions and then I'm going to bounce out because it is Monday and I have a full workload today. Matt, can we let's go to some questions, see what people have got?
Now, so they refresh the page.
Okay, cool. All right, so yeah, that's cool. While they're doing that, let's...
I'm going to ask them for questions, yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. You're amazing. You're great. I'm going to drink some of this. It's like gone already, but like it's still good. Thank you guys. I appreciate you guys sitting here. I appreciate you guys being through it. And let's see if anyone's got any questions for me. Probably take a minute. So there's a delay, so it's awkward. So like I'd say it here, and then it takes a while to get there, and then a while to get to you guys. But let's do 3 questions.
Okay, you already did that one. All right. What kind of seductive vocal tone should we use before kissing a girl, or if we want to show a girl we want to kiss her?
What kind of seductive vocal tone should we use when you want to kiss a girl? So that same seductive vocal tone is the vocal tone to use, but before you kiss somebody, I find it's easier to speak slower and slower, right? So remember there's those pauses? Extend the pauses. So if I'm talking to somebody, it'll be like, hey, I really like your eyes or whatever. What I say now is going to be irrelevant because obviously I'm about to kiss the girl, so it's going to be based on the whole conversation we've had. But you'll be talking to her and be like, yeah, it's just, it's funny, like I'm hearing what you're saying. And the pauses just become huge as you lean in. And if you do that and you notice her head moving towards you, the kiss is going to happen. Just drag out those pauses and move in and you're going to be fine. So it's like doing more of the seduction vocal tone. Cool. It's question 2.
Now, someone's asking, how do you get the girl to reciprocate the seductive tone?
How do you get the girl to reciprocate the seductive tone? You don't. If she doesn't move on to the seductive tone when you're doing it, then it was the wrong time to do it and you were doing it far too early. You do need to have the conversational tone first. So honestly, if you've shifted to seductive and she didn't match, go back to conversational, hold it for a while, try and seductive again. You may have to try it like 3 or 4 times before she bites and starts copying it. Once she does, you've hit it. Let's go on to the final question. Make sure it's a good one. All right.
Yeah.
Let's do a mini one in the meantime then, while you're looking for the perfect one.
Okay. Well, this one's kind of nice.
All right, Matt's found it.
How to keep
He's found the perfect
sexual
question.
and aroused in a long-term relationship.
How to keep things sexual and aroused in a long-term relationship. So again, long-term relationships is like my specialty. I love like multiple long-term relationships. They're my favorite. In multiple long-term relationships, it's all about remembering that seduction isn't just about talking about sex. You have to talk about sex. Sex has to come up. But realistically, it's about the promise of the future and the ambition. I always say you could be a rich motherfucker who's living off daddy's money and ain't nobody gonna find you attractive because you're sitting there living off dad's money. The girl's never gonna like you for who you are because you're not anyone. You are your dad's product and living off of his income. If you really want to be attractive, you've got to build a life for yourself, you're going to have ambition for yourself and a plan for the future. Every single time I find a problem in my relationship, I find the fastest and quickest way to fix it is to make an amazing big plan for the future and then have me and my girlfriends work towards that thing. The minute we do that, it fixes almost every problem we're having because instead of fixing or focusing on what's wrong in today, we're focusing on building something for the future. So that's probably my biggest tip I could have for you guys. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for your time. Thank you for watching this. For those of you guys that are watching the replay, you really should come here and watch it live. Being able to talk to Matt and ask questions I know is amazing. And also, we do first come, first serve. Those guys that ask me questions get to have their questions answered live. And normally I charge $750 an hour to do consultations. So it's expensive. So you can get it completely for free by just being here live. So don't miss out on it. There will be another live seminar next week. So make sure you watch out so you don't miss out on that. And in the meantime, here's the one thing you can do to say thank you to me. You just click on the link below. Go and have a look and learn what it takes to make women want you. There is no obligation to buy anything from my buddy Jason. However, I can almost guarantee you that you're going to want to do it once you go there because this skill is something that very few people teach. A lot of people be like, here's how you can, get her turned on, or here's how you can do something to, to be more attractive in this situation. He's going to teach you how to do something that makes her chase you, makes her come after you, makes her want you. And it's so much easier when you can just sit back and have that girl chase you. If you don't know what I'm on about, if this sounds interesting, or if you're just curious, click on the link, check it out. I promise you will love it. And that's about it from me. Matt, thank you ever so much for helping. Guys, do me a favor, say thank you to Matt for all that he does because he's incredible. And I suppose I will see everybody in the next seminar. Thank you. Leaving's always awkward because it takes a long time to come over and turn the camera off. And I don't know if I should